Hey YouTube, welcome back to Dwayne's World. So what are we doing today? How about some cow trimmer stripe action along with my very first fertilizer treatment of this growing season? You better stay tuned. Alright, so welcome back to Season 2, Episode 11 here on Dwayne's World. So that's right, we will be breaking out the California trimmer. I'll be mowing my Bermuda grass at about 5/8 of an inch. See if I can get some great stripe action with that groove front roller. Right, so after throwing down some great stripe action, I'm going to go ahead and use one of my favorite fertilizers, PGF Complete 1608. But you're going to have to wait a little bit longer in this video before we get into that. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the lawn. Alright, so here she is. You know, for those of you that are new to my channel, first of all, welcome. But what you're looking at is about 6,900 square feet of hybrid Bermuda. You know, I would probably estimate at this point my lawn is about 75% greened up. You know, I mentioned today will be the first treatment of any type of fertilizer. Up to this point, it's purely been just Mother Nature with the increase in temperature and really the unprecedented amount of rain we've had here in Southern California. The green up is definitely looking on point. Now, as you guys can see here on the left side of the screen, this is where I have the most amount of dormant grass, but throughout the rest of the lawn, it definitely looking great. Now, as I get closer over here to the fence, I noticed something as I was getting ready to film here today. Got all these branches on the ground and wondered, what the heck? What happened here? But as you guys can see here, I'm actually very grateful because the neighbor trimmed up their tree, which is only going to help the Bermuda in the greening up. So very excited about that. And with that, let's get on to our mow. Alright, the cow trimmer showing us how it's done today. Let's go ahead and take a look. So full disclosure, I gotta tell you guys, the stripe action game was very difficult today. I cannot mow straight if my life depended on it. But I did clean up a couple of the passes. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like. Not too bad, not too bad. Colors coming through. Let me go ahead and turn around and give you guys a better look here. Okay, so as you can see here on the left side of the screen where the grass is fairly dormant, StripeAction not looking too good. But as we pan over here to the right, where we have our green up, you can absolutely see where the California trimmer did a fabulous job laying down some really nice stripes. Now as I kind of turn the camera here, you can still make out from my last mow where the Toro Greensmaster laid down the stripes in this direction. You know, kind of puts together a nice little diamond pattern when you mix it up here with the California trimmer stripes. Definitely happy with the way the California trimmer has been performing. It's still one of my favorite mowers to use, and it's still a mower that I would highly recommend to anybody that might be wanting to get into reel mowing. All right, and with that, let's get on to the rest of the video. I'm very excited about this because I'm going to be using my power rotary scissors for the first time on my green Bermuda. All right, so let me go ahead and show you guys what the edges look like right now. I purposely left them long for this reason. All right, so we're going to go ahead and clean up this edge line all along the concrete here. We're going to see what kind of job the rotary scissors do. And one of the things I'm looking forward to most is no scalp action. All right, so let's go ahead and see how they do. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here at the edges. Absolutely love the way the rotary scissors work in combination with the edger. Absolutely phenomenal. No scalping, clean edges. Definitely cannot ask for more than that. Looking good. All right, so even though this is the fertilizer of choice for today, stay tuned for my future content because I'm going to try something with my next fertilizer treatment that I've never tried before. I want to try something for the very first time on my next fertilizer treatment. And with that, you're going to have to go ahead and subscribe to my channel to see what that's going to be. All right, so one of the reasons why I absolutely love the PGF Complete, not only is it a great fertilizer, but I really love the greens grade pearl size. This really helps the fertilizer be able to get down into the canopy where it can go to work. So what I had to measure out about 20 pounds. The rate I'm going with is about 3 pounds per thousand, which will give me about a half a pound of nitrogen, which should be perfect to start up this growing season. Okay, it's about that time. Let's go ahead and throw down the PGF Complete. All right, so I just want to stop here for just a moment and just talk about the spreader. This is the Anderson SR2000 spreader. I absolutely love this spreader. It is a professional grade spreader and is probably overkill for my lawn, to be honest with you. But a couple things I really absolutely love about it. I love the fact that it has pneumatic tires and that the handlebars are of a higher elevation than a lot of spreaders that you find on the market. This really helps out whenever it comes to maneuverability and ease of use. Again, absolutely love the Anderson SR2000. All right, guys, just to show you, there's just a little bit left in a hopper. I'm gonna go ahead and just do one last perimeter pass and we'll be good to go. All that's left now is to go ahead and water in that fertilizer so it can go to work. All right, so one thing to remember anytime you are using any type of granular fertilizer is it does not react as quickly as if you're using a liquid fertilizer. A liquid fertilizer, you generally get a result within 2 or 3 days. As with a granular, you're probably gonna have to wait about a week before you really start to see its effects. So a lot of times people ask me, well, Dwayne, what type of fertilizer should I use? Or how did you know you should be using Anderson's PGF Complete? And the reason why I chose to go with Anderson's PGF Complete is because it is a high quality professional grade fertilizer. The formulation is 1608. Now it also does come in a 1648, but the reason why I chose the 1608 is based on my soil test. My soil tests say that I have really high phosphorus in the ground. So because of the fact that phosphorus takes a very, very long time to go away, as opposed to nitrogen or potassium that tends to leave the soil quicker, phosphorus stays there for a very, very long time. So anytime you're low in phosphorus, you want to get to the level that's optimal and then stop. Do not continue adding phosphorus because your levels will start to go too high. And at that point, it's going to be very, very difficult or will take a long time to bring those phosphorus levels back down. This is where a lot of times people ask me, Dwayne, what type of fertilizer should I use? And my answer is going to be that it depends. Now, I would say if you do not want to do a soil test, you're probably pretty safe going with something like a 1608 or even maybe a 1648. If you just had to kind of shoot in the dark, I would probably start there. But you don't know what you truly need unless you get a soil test. General rule, you should probably target your fertilizers to get to about 1 pound of nitrogen within a given month. Now, depending on that formulation is going to determine how you get to that 1 pound. If you're using something with a very high nitrogen count, maybe you only have to feed your lawn once. But because of the fact that I like to spoon feed and really keep the green at a certain level in my lawn, I choose to do more applications at a less level of nitrogen. And to me, that tends to get a better professional result. So with all that information, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. A lot of fun being able to use the California trimmer. I absolutely love that mower. And at the same time, be able to throw down my first, yes, that's right, first fertilizer treatment of the growing season. And with that, be excellent and party on.